Peggy's father, my father-in-law, Mike Zone, was a prisoner of war in World War II. He didn't like to talk about his days as a prisoner of war. And we often wondered how he survived when younger men and smarter men and stronger men and healthier men did not. After he passed away, Peggy and I decided that we were going to write a book about her phenomenal parents, her mom and her dad. Her mom has since died, but at this time she was alive. And Peggy and I one day went to Mary, and she pulled out of the closet a little book about so big, which was the diary of Peggy's father that she had never shown any of the 9 Zone children. We read through it page by page, in little handwriting that was still legible all these years later. And there were 2 things that were very evident. Mike Zone was an Italian who loved to eat but did not know how to cook. But there were intricate pasta recipes throughout that diary that years later, my mother-in-law, who was a great cook, reviews often when making pasta and other dishes for her family. And the second thing in that book were the stories of the 9 Zone children, including my future wife. At that point, Mary and Mike had no children. About the 9 Zone children they would raise at West 65th in Detroit in an Italian Catholic working class neighborhood on the near west side of Cleveland, start a grocery store. Little did they know they would end up being in the Cleveland City Council and serving together, Mike and they first, and then when he passed away, Mary, for 21 consecutive years. Today, Peggy's brother, Matt Zone, is the councilman in that ward. Now, how is it that Mike Zone survived? Well, here's how he did it. He had the most powerful emotion on earth, the emotion of hope. The ability to see beyond the cruelty of the guards, the ability to see beyond the barbed wire, to close his eyes and see something bigger than himself, a reason to live, a reason to survive, a reason to thrive. We have to live within our means right now. We are cutting back. Every mayor, every administrator is doing it. We have to. But I don't know any economist who believes that you can cut your way to prosperity. You must also make investments even when the sun is not shining. And our investments have been and will continue to be in our neighborhoods and our communities that have been hit hardest by the housing decline and the foreclosure crisis, because we can close our eyes, the governor and I, and we can see a bigger and brighter day so that when this economic perfect storm does eventually pass, and we had a vision, and we painted and